Wizara inasikitika kutoa taarifa ya wagonjwa 5 ambao wamefariki dunia.
The ministry would like to announce the death of 5 patients who are suffering from the COVID-19. The ministry would like to convey our condolences to affected families and may God rest their souls in eternal peace. To date, patients admitted in health centers are 41 and these are doing well. Measures are in place to treat those showing symptoms but have no other health complications. So far, a total of 72 are receiving treatment from home.
Hawana matatizo mengine ya kiafya.
And the Ministry of Natural Resources and Tourism has tabled budget estimates of 114.5 billion shillings for the 2020-2021 financial year, with the coronavirus pandemic seen as a threat to its implementation. Contributing to the budget debate, some members of Parliament said more efforts are needed to make the tourism sector more conducive to its potential in increasing national revenue.
The Ministry of Tourism and Natural Resources has carried out an assessment on the impact of the COVID-19 on tourism. The report and recommendations made by various stakeholders have been presented to the Treasury so it can be included in the broader assessment on the effects of this pandemic on our economy. Revenue derived from this sector is expected to decrease, as currently we are not receiving a lot of tourists from outside. Therefore, the committee is recommending the ministry to prepare a plan on revenue collection which will reflect the current state.
A coffee processing plant in Ngakorongo, Karagwe District, Kagera region, owned by businessman Karim Amri, was gutted by fire in the early hours of the morning. Police have said that they are still investigating the cause of the fire, which destroyed machinery used for coffee processing.
We received a fire incident report at 5:56. Preliminary investigation shows lightning could have been the cause of the fire. The investigation might take some time, but we will push for an assessment to be carried out. This factory used to employ more than 800 workers, so it is a big blow to them. I would like to urge all factory owners to take out insurance so they are covered in case anything like this happens.
And the government has directed the Energy and Water Utility Regulatory Authority, EWURA, to reconnect water services to all consumers who had been disconnected so that they can continue to get water during this period when the country is dealing with the coronavirus pandemic. The directive was given by the Deputy Minister of Water, Juma Aweso, when addressing leaders of the authority in Dodoma.
Lakini kikubwa kama rais wetu anapotusitiza,
we must take precaution. This illness kills just like any other. But despite of the existence of this illness, as a ministry, together with other stakeholders, it should not be the reason for other development activities to stop. I'm instructing EWURA from today. This is happening, and evidence was presented by members of Parliament in Parliament. EWURA must not increase the cost of water anyhow. We've managed to reach regions by 41% and 21% in national projects. However, in between these figures, there are some authorities who are losing a lot of water.
4 suspects have been arrested in Arusha in a robbery attempt which was organized by a witch doctor. Arusha Region Police Commander Jonathan Shana said the witch doctor had been helping the robbers to carry out the crime.
At around 10, our officers who had set a trap saw the vehicle approaching at very high speed. They attempted to stop the vehicle, but the suspects refused to stop.
Askari wetu kama risasi, kama mshale.
We commend the police officers for a job well done. You have performed this task with a lot of efficiency. We know at any given time people have been encouraged to obey the law. They come to Arusha to commit crime. More often than not, visitors from outside come here because they know this is a tourist hub. But there are those who come to cause trouble.
And the Minister of Energy, Dr. Medad Kalemani, has directed residents living and conducting activities next to River Ruaha to stop destroying the environment as it causes overfilling of sand in the dam used to store water for production of 2,115 megawatts of electricity to shore the Julius Nyerere electricity project, endangering the development of the project.
What has brought us here is to check on the availability of water. Luckily, the Kidatu Dam is 450 meters deep, and this is the actual capacity when full. If we don't control how much water is released, then it will impact surrounding communities. The main government's objective is to protect its major water sources, to ensure there is always water. Otherwise, this could impact the production of electricity, affecting the economy and the development of our nation. Surrounding communities must refrain from activities which destroy natural vegetation. We're here to assess the situation. As you know, climate change impacts the environment. So it is important, as a government, to ensure that our people don't suffer from the effects. It is important that to prevent people and projects from being negatively impacted, guidelines in place are followed.
An expectant mother who is a resident of Gumboneka suburb, Mazingara village in Handeni district, Tanga region, given birth while on the way to Mkata Health Center. This led to the death of her infant, a situation that was caused by the poor road infrastructure.
Njia hii mzee inatisha. Juzi imetokea mama alikuwa mjamzito kapewa transfer kutoka Gumboneka, kuna hospitali na shule aende Mkata, lakini kulingana na njia jinsi hali halisi unavyoiona ilishindikana kufika. Mama akajifungulia njiani na mtoto ikawa bahati mbaya.
And the District Commissioner of Yangwale, Hamim Buzohera Guiyama, has died today at Bugando Referral Hospital after a short illness. The announcement was made in a statement by the Minister of Regional Administration and Local Government, Suleiman Jafo. Hamim Buzohera Guiyama had been appointed by President Dr. John Magufuli as the District Commissioner of Yangwale on the 26th of June 2016. Minister Jafo has sent his condolences to Geita Region Commissioner Engineer Robert Gabriel, residents of Yangwale District, family and friends of the late Hamim Guiyama. And that's all for the national news. International news is next. And now in international news. The Ministry of Emergency Management in Rwanda says that heavy rains that fell in different parts of the country last night claimed the lives of 55 people and destroyed properties in 6 districts. The downpour also destroyed 91 houses, 5 bridges and hectares of various crops.
Masks prevent air from spreading out easily, and that is why some people lower it so as to allow for better breath. Many people are wearing masks incorrectly. If this is not prevented early on, the disease will spread even more and the lockdown may be reinstated.
And patients who tested positive are 22 Kenyans, 1 Ugandan, 1 Tanzanian, a Chinese national. The number of fatalities from the coronavirus has gone up from 26 to 29, with the number of recoveries also increasing to 197 after 7 patients recovered from the virus. This is in Kenya. It has confirmed 25 new coronavirus cases after 632 samples were tested in the last 24 hours.
From the directives, some people have decided to sneak out of these areas and to relocate to the neighboring estates. Let me caution that this move is counterproductive and dangerous. This is because if you happen to be infected unknowingly, then you have just transferred the problem to another area. What you have done is to promote the spread of the disease in this area that you have relocated to. As we continue with our enhanced targeted testing in other areas, and we establish a level of community transmission that now needs some further action, you can be sure that further action will be taken in these places as well.
Residents from Uvira in the Democratic Republic of Congo have said that they are living in difficult conditions due to lack of roads, which have been destroyed by the ongoing rains that have caused the deaths of 20 people.
Jua ukosefu ya njia. Kubeba saki ya muhindi, utransporo inapandisha bei ya muhindi ya chakula. Kusema ufikirie Uvira ni problemu, unalipa hata mara 7.
The Independent Electoral Commission in Burundi has called on candidates to respect election regulations during campaign rallies. This comes after reports of violence and crimes during the campaigns.
For a while now, there have been opinions and behaviors that are against the law generally, but especially against the election principles on campaigns. There are incitement issues that can cause chaos and at times can cause social discord.
And that's where we leave off with international news. Don't go anywhere. We'll be back with business news after this break.
Watch Business Edition as we talk to business leaders and experts in sectors that are transforming Tanzania's economy.
We believe that the driver is the customer.
To change the mindset of traditional HR to digitalization.
Make sure that everybody can get some access to financial services.
And once we understand the vision of our leaders, we then need to be behind them and help them in achieving that vision.
Business have involved mercantile operations, trade guilds, or shared agricultural production, infrastructure, construction, financial sectors, tourism, and mining. Business Edition on Friday at 8:15 p.m.
Thank you for staying with us, and now let's move on to business news. Traders in Same District, Kilimanjaro region, who are alleged to be hoarding sugar, have been directed to make sure they make the commodity available in shops for consumers, and that legal measures will be taken against them if they fail to comply with the directives.
If there are entrepreneurs in this district who have hidden sugar with the aim of getting it out of circulation so as to distress customers because they do not want to sell the sugar at the directed price, you should go and remove that sugar today, after this meeting. It should enter the market and be sold at the directed price. We should not allow those who seem like can do wholesale business to bring sugar so that it doesn't look like sugar has been hidden in warehouses and homes. That is my advice.
Marine transport stakeholders in Mwanza region have urged Tanzania Shipping Agencies Corporation (TASAC) to charge fees after profit made in order to avoid the problem of tax evasion and incur the government revenue loss. Because it is calculated legally, it doesn't matter whether your business has dropped. What will be looked at is you'll be required to pay for the levy of what you got, whether you underwent a loss or not. The costs used to run the business are high, so our request is that the percentage is charged in profit and not in loss. Gravel miners from Maisaka Ward in Babati Town, Manyara region have expressed concern on the decision made by the district council to allocate them 2 acres of land out of 4 for their activities, and the remaining 2 acres to an investor, saying that it was not sufficient as there were many of them.
The investor should stay at NN, and we small-scale miners should stay here. Our government and all leaders in Manyara region should look into this. Because they were only mining half an acre, we have given them 2 acres, which is even beyond their capacity as they do so by hand. So even if you give them 10 to 20 acres, they will not finish them.
That's all for business news. Sports is next.
Away first time, good start from Bolt. Bolt leading a moment and going away. Gay trying to go with him, and he's going big drag through to second place, but he's going to win it by 2 meters. Away first time, good start from Bolt. Bolt leading a moment and going away. Gay trying to go with him, and he's going big drag through to second place, but he's going to win it by 2 meters. Joaquinho, he did lose to Lendl.
And now sports. The sailing team has proceeded with training in readiness for competitions once they resume, with the coach saying it is not very hard for them to train during the coronavirus pandemic due to the nature of the sport.
We've heard and understood the government statement, and we have been affected in a certain way because any sport has to include training. We had the plan of sending a sailor to the World Championships, so he was to go to South Africa for training. We are waiting for the government to tell us when to come back.
Tanzania Cricket Association has continued to rehabilitate the Anadil Burhani grounds in Dar es Salaam in preparation for the return of sports activities which have been suspended because of the coronavirus pandemic.
We are innovating our grounds because sports have been suspended due to the coronavirus pandemic. We have individuals who are working on the grounds until the challenge is overcome and we can return to our normal activities. The main area we are concentrating on for now is the pitch.
And NBA teams are expected to get the go-ahead to reopen practice facilities for limited use as early as Friday, less than 2 months after the coronavirus outbreak forced the suspension of the season. Here is more.
With head and assistant coaches barred and scrimmages forbidden, the workouts are unlikely to resemble business as usual for the NBA, but will nonetheless be a step towards a normalcy for a league whose season was upended in dramatic fashion in March. Players will be required to wear face masks inside team facilities, except during the period when they are engaged in physical activity, according to a league memo. Teams must also thoroughly disinfect any equipment used, from basketballs to weight room equipment. Modifications to stay-at-home orders could play a factor in which teams can resume workouts, with some U.S. states reopening and others maintaining strict social distancing procedures.
An unidentified player at a Serie A club, Torino, has tested positive for coronavirus in the first round of testing before the side's planned return to training tomorrow. Here is more on this.
Serie A teams have begun returning to training this week after Italy's 8-week lockdown, the longest in Europe, although there has still been no decision on when or if the season can start again. Although Serie A has said that all of 20 of its clubs want to restart the season, Torino appear to have been among the less enthusiastic. The club's president Urbano Cairo said last week that Italy should already be thinking about next season.
Manchester City have insisted they have yet to receive an offer for Leroy Sané from Bayern Munich and are prepared to allow the German international to enter the final year of his contract.
Third story. Sané, who was close to making his return from a knee ligament injury before the coronavirus pandemic, signed a 5-year deal at the Etihad Stadium in 2016 when he joined from Schalke for £37 million, but has yet to agree terms on a new contract. The former Bayern manager Niko Kovac was forced to apologize in July after suggesting he was confident the German champions will complete the signing of the 24-year-old forward last summer, with Sané subsequently sustaining his injury in the Community Shield against Liverpool a few days later. Sané switched agents in February to Damir Smoljan and Fali Ramadani's Lion Sports, and a report in the German newspaper Bild on Tuesday suggested that he had agreed terms on a 5-year contract with Bayern, subject to a bid of €40 million being accepted.
And that sports item ends our news bulletin. On behalf of everyone who worked to bring you this bulletin, thank you for watching and have a good night and stay safe.
Kutoka nje na kuzurura bila kazi maalum ni hatari kwa afya yako. Tulia nyumbani.
You can watch Capital News live on our social media accounts, YouTube Capital TV and Facebook Capital Television Tanzania from Monday to Friday at 9:30 p.m. Don't forget to subscribe and put notification on.
We promised you an unforgettable experience. But overnight, we were not able to deliver on that promise because our world is not the same. What if me and you accept that we may not always have full control of situations, but with faith we can make the best out of it and that everything will be better? In spite of life's current adversities, we have learned to appreciate and value simpler things: life, family, friendship, and looking out for each other. I am here, but it is not the same without you. In this time of uncertainty, let's take one step at a time. We shall rise up again, together. And when we finally see the light, Tanzania will be ready to receive you and show you its unforgettable wonders. Until then, stay healthy and safe as well. Tanzania, unforgettable.
Korona ni ugonjwa hatari na unaua kwa haraka.
Tafadhali zingatia maelekezo yanayotolewa na Wizara ya Afya kama vile
kunawa mikono kwa vitakasa mikono na kunawa